What is Islam? What are the sources of Islam? What are the sources of Islam? What is Islam?
Burada sen ifşa oldun.
Nereye?
Gidiyorum. Hi, this is Edip. Today we'll be discussing a very important subject. It is March 6, 2019. I would like to introduce you, in case you don't know, about Quran Reformist translation. It is not Sunni or Shiite translation. It is from a rational monotheist perspective, the translation of the Quran without distortion of hadith, sunnah, sectarian teaching, all these fabricated lies after Prophet Muhammad. And in the beginning you will see I compare with three other translations. For example, like here, I don't know whether you can see it right now, and see our translations, how it is different. These are about case study, about 15 verses. I compare them in detail. And here, for example, and there is also following discussion and see the difference between our translation and their translation. For example, this one, and on many issues, you will see there is major distortions. And it is available PDF for free, and I'm not making money from books. Perhaps I am the only one in history who also translated the Quran into two languages, Turkish and English, first English, then Turkish. This is also in footnotes. I have detailed arguments why we should translate the verse this way, not the other way around. And also I have, if there are some philosophical questions, I discuss there, and the very extensive cross-reference with Bible, Old and New Testament. And this is the most extensive cross-reference to the Old and New Testament. I have also studied Christianity and Judaism. Anyway, and also I would like to introduce you a few books before, very important topic about Arab nationalism, how they promote it by using hadith, and through hadith distorting the meaning of verses, words in the Quran. This is 19, very important, and you will, if you see Sunnis and Shiites or Catholics, they will be very very afraid of that number. They basically escaped like zebras. Therefore, I have this book, Running Like Zebras. The only name is should be not there is Carl Sagan. He's the one different. He was very reasonable and honorable person, and my discussion with him there before the internet. And Abu Amina Bilal Phillips, he's a Salafi, he's a murderer, and he's a I have also video about him, exposing him. Daniel Lomax, Amen. Michael Shermer, he's also, though escaped, I have video with him, discussion on this subject. James Randi is a bigot, and other ingrates. And this is what these guys, see their names. Okay, and Robert Spencer, he's exposed, he has written books. He's a Sunni Christian, means believes everything Sunni and Shiites made up about Muhammad, all lies and insults. You see in Hadith books, Muhammad is a pedophile according to Hadith book. Muhammad is a torturer according to Hadith books. He is an ignorant person, cannot even, IQ is low, so low that He dictates the Quran 23 years. He cannot even learn 28 letters of Arabic alphabet. And he uses that. He believes in those. He is smart enough knowing that they are lies, fabricated centuries after Muhammad, because there are so many exaggerations and lies, that Muhammad has the sexual drive of 30 males. Or he pointed to the moon, half of the moon fell to Ali's backyard. And these are, among these books, he picks the ones that he could use to insult, slander Muhammad and the Quran. And the translations of the Quran, today, the Sunni and Shiite translations are full of distortions. And this is Manifesto for Islamic Reform. PDF is available at 19.org. And this is also various articles. It doesn't mean I agree with every article there, but they are a bunch of free thinkers, rational monotheists. They have different takes on issues. I was the editor of this, and we had a conference at Oxford University, and then at also Emory Law School in Atlanta, Los Angeles. We had another conference at Princeton University. Anyway, let's go. Now, come on. Okay. Now, let's start with this one. Let's start with this one. With this verse. Okay. وَمِنْ آيَاتِ خَلْقُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Have patience, please. Turn your phone off, cellular phone. This is very important. I am going to expose the Arab nationalism disguised as holy book, inside the holy book, and how they distort it. وَمِنْ آيَاتِ خَلْقُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاخْتِلَافِ أَلْسِنَتِكُمْ وَأَلْوَانِكُمْ إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِلْعَالَمِينَ. Here it is. In fact, in original there is no Hamza, they later added, that's okay. From his signs, this is from Quran, a reformist translation, together with lace we prepared. From his signs are the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the difference of your languages and your colors. In that are signs for the world. What is it? All human language are signs of God. And the word ayat is used for that. Ayat is used also for the verses of the Quran. This word, ayat, signs. The verses, minimum 3 verses of the Quran is considered ayat, signs. And when it is in singular form is used in the Quran 84 times, if I'm not mistaken, in all of them it means sign, never for the verses of the Quran when it's singular. But when it is plural, it means both signs, objective, in horizon, or the verses of the Quran, literary verses of the Quran. Okay, that means from here we know that the differences in the language is sign from signs of God. It is good. Differences. And difference in the colors. Therefore, we should appreciate diversity. It is not bad. God says God created different colors, different languages. So that, the following verse, so that you will appreciate, you will learn from each other, not fight each other, not impose on each other, not to try assimilate each other. I am better than you. My language is better than you. My race is upper than you. No. Each has their own flavor. We have orange, we have apple, we have cherry, we have all sorts of fruits. You don't want to reduce it to one. God from one color created spectrum, the rainbow. Rainbow is what? Is a ribbon in our sky millions of years. Now some people I see, they hate rainbow. Oh, it is homosexual. Who cares? It has been before homosexuals, even before dinosaurs were on this earth. It is a sign of God. It is ayat of God. rainbow. Anyway, therefore, tyrants, pharaohs, oppressive people, Salafis, religious people, they don't like diversity. Diverse ideas, diverse beliefs, diverse colors, diverse languages, usually. And therefore, this verse 49:13 says, Ya ayyuhan nas, O people, inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa unsa. We created you from male and female. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلًا. We made you different tribes and groups, شعوب groups and قبائل tribes. لِتَعَارَفُوا. This شعوب is bigger, nations, let's call it. Bigger than قبائل. Anyway, لِتَعَارَفُوا, in order to know each other, to get to know each other, learn from each other, the differences. I should not do it, but sometimes color change is beautiful. Okay, إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. The best among you are the righteous. Not the male and female, not this tribe, this nation, that nation. إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ, the most honorable one, the best one among you are what? أَتْقَاكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلِيمٌ خَبِيرٌ. God is knowledgeable and ever aware. Okay, here it is. This is my footnote for that, my endnote. This verse unequivocally rejects sexism and racism and reminds us that neither male nor female, neither this race nor that race is superior to the other. Recognition and appreciation of diversity is an important point in our test. The only measure of superiority is righteousness, good deeds, being a humble, moral, and socially conscientious person who strives to help others. Okay, now let's come to Hadith. Hadith is a conspiracy against the Quran. Soon after Prophet Muhammad died, they start attributing lies to Prophet Muhammad. According to Hadith books, these followers of Hadith, the most authentic, the most, they call it mutawatir, a hadith that comes from so many sources, the first narrators, so many first narrators, first chain, that no one can doubt about their authenticity. And of course, like everything, they have this agreement about the numbers of those kind of mutawatir hadiths. If you ask them, in fact, once on a live TV, I challenged the head of theology organization. He was so kind of losing himself. He lost the argument so many times. By kind of force, he tried to pull away. He yanked the Quran from my hand. In fact, it is on my channel, you will see. Edip Yuksel, his name was Selahattin Yazıcı. Oh my gosh. Another, the head of religious affairs, he escaped from the studio twice. In front of millions of people, he lied. He increased the letters of Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim by 2. 19 letters of Basmala. In order to deny it, he added 2. Anyway, why I'm going in those area, I'm just a little bit diverted. Hadith, mutawatir hadith, when I asked him, how many? Okay, he says there are 31 layers of, 31 categories of hadith. 31. It is huge science. Our ulama so carefully, they studied this. They categorize hadith according to their authenticity in 31 different categories. The top mutawatir, the bottom is mawdu'. Mawdu' means fabricated, clear. And in between, there are hadiths, they call it, for example, mawsul. Ahadi means one person, came from one person, mursal, and anyway, there are many in between. I don't even remember them. I studied them when I was in high school. My father was the biggest scholar in Turkey at that time. Now, Sunni scholar. Now, supposedly he's praising the things. Well, There are 31 categories of lies. So many flavors of lies you have. The Quran is only one authentic, all word of God. Of course, they cannot prove the Quran word of God or authenticate every verse, but the miracle of 19 does, and they had that one. Now, I said, okay, forget about 30 of these categories. Let's focus on your top category, which is mutawatir. Tell me how many of them are there. And he didn't remember. Goodness sake, you are inviting me to these volumes of contradictory hadith, means hearsay stories. Bukhari was made up. He came 230 years after Prophet Muhammad. I heard from this Ibn, from this Ibn, there's Abu, and he heard from Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad said this. Prophet Muhammad, he saw Prophet Muhammad peeing while he was standing. In another hadith, he saw Prophet Muhammad was peeing while sitting. And then they drive religious stuff from this. In one hadith, he was gouging people's eyes with hot nails, Urayna and Uqayla story. In another hadith, the children of Jews in Taif, they were throwing stone to him. He was praying for them. And he's in one place, he even more merciful than God. He bargains with God about the number of prayers. From 50, he bargains. He goes up and down between seventh heaven and sixth heaven. Moses is there. And then he bargains with God. He reduces to 40 from 50. And Moses tells him, well, it's too many 40 prayers at a time. They cannot even sleep. 50 prayers means every 28 minutes, one time prayer at different time. You cannot sleep. You cannot do anything else. God supposedly did not know mathematics. God was very merciless, very bad, and Muhammad did not even think and came down, and Moses says, no, go up, reduce more, and then he goes up to the seventh heaven. This is the longest hadith in Bukhari. And then he says, well, God, according to Moses, it's too much, too many prayers, please. And God says, okay, 30, and goes down. Moses says, well, that isn't too much. He's a real Jew in terms of stereotypical Jew. He's counting, calculating, thinking. But Muhammad is not thinking. He just accepts it. But both Muhammad and Moses, they are more merciful than God. They more care, but they are like union leader, bargaining on behalf of people, on behalf of us against God. This is the hadith. And as supposedly brings down to 5, Moses says, go back, it is even that too many. Now, those who read this hadith, they say, I wish Muhammad listened to the Moses went up, it's too many, reduce it to 1 or 2, or maximum 3. Anyway, this is unbelievable stupid hadith. But in one way, Muhammad is a torturer of person, and then in one place, more merciful than God. In one way, he's very smart. Oh my gosh, he knows the future and everything. In other hadith, they distorted the meaning of ummi. Ummi means Gentile, that a person who was not Christian and Jew, who's not studying Bible. But in the Quran, it's always contrasted with Ahlul Kitab, with people of the book. Obviously, put X for ummi, you will understand it means Gentile. It doesn't mean illiterate. But they distorted the meaning of ummi to illiterate. There is a reason for that, because they wanted to kind of make the Quran literary miracle more. If a literate person cannot. But if he was kind of a person who was reading book, well, they could not kind of really defend the miracle of the Quran, later generations. And in order to make it the gap bigger between the literary excellence of the Quran and Muhammad, they made Muhammad illiterate Muhammad. But they also insulted their idol. In one way, they make him a shafa next to God. His name, they attach glued to God with Japanese glue, with gorilla glue. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasul next to it, but it's just contradicts the Quran, throughout the Quran. 29 places, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. Not in a single place, Muhammad's name is not attached. when La ilaha illallah, God's oneness is mentioned. In fact, verse 381, chapter 3, verse 81, it is about shahada, God's shahada, testimony, and angels' testimony, and people who are endowed with knowledge, they testify that there is only one God, and Muhammad's name is not added. In fact, chapter 39, verse 45, exposes why some are not satisfied with the name of God alone. They want to add any other name. But some translation says idols. No. In that verse, it doesn't say idols. Chapter 39, verse 45. Min duni, other than God. And then chapter 63, as if these are not enough to expose these hypocrites, at chapter 63, which is called about hypocrites, verse 1 exposes them. It is where the only place someone testifies that Muhammad is God's messenger. God says, God knows that Muhammad is God's messenger, but you are lying. The previous former hypocrites, they lied, and today's hypocrites, they are lying, because today's hypocrites, they do not believe Muhammad was messenger of God. They believe he's God besides God, because he's making up a lot of rules in the name of God himself, making up. In fact, according to them, Muhammad's words can nullify, can cancel verses of the Quran. They call it nasikh mansukh. And he makes up a kind of the religion, or let's say the system, is God plus Muhammad. In fact, later they added Sahaba, and later they added their alims and zalims and all these, how do you say it, as a corporation. Anyway, I'm saying about hadith, that is whole things. When I go there, there's so much trouble there. I cannot get out of myself. Let's come out from there, come to this verse. And those hadith books, and when I asked that on live TV to the president of theologians, graduates theology organization, I said, okay, forget about 30 categories of hadith. Tell me about the top, the most authentic hadith. How many of them you have? You are inviting me to death. At least you should know their number. If you ask me about the Quran, I know how many verses in the Quran. There are 114 chapters in the Quran and 6,346 verses, including repeated Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Even the number of letters I know. That's so accurate. But tell me, you don't know even the number of hadiths in all these categories, but the top category, tell me. And he didn't know. He's accusing me of being murtad, apostate, that should be killed, deserve to be killed according to his religion. All Sunni sects say a murtad, someone who leaves their religion, should be killed, should be invited. If he doesn't accept it, should be killed, beheaded. And then he invites me to hadith. He doesn't know even, according to his, there are 31 categories of these hadiths. The top category, he doesn't know their numbers. On live TV, he called his friend to learn. And his friend says on the phone, there are between 100 or 300 mutawatir hadiths, the top hadiths. The number is round. When it is so round, get suspicious. When the gap between is 3 times, 100, 300 times, and rejecting each mutawatir make you murtad, make you kafir, make you out of religion, deserving to be killed. And they don't know even the number. Such a stupid nonsense. They invite us. And they threaten us to believe that nonsense. Anyway, now, here it is. Ya ayyuhan nas inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa unsa wa ja'alnakum. Okay, we went over this. Now let's come here. And hadith. Few hadiths that promoted Arab nationalism. There are many of them, but just on top of my head. How many minutes? Oh my gosh, time is passing very fast. Okay, language of paradise is Arabic, they believe. Leadership belongs to Quraysh. Not only Arab, particular tribe. Whoever loves me should love Arabs. This one is also. But you will find they are in disagreement on every hadith. Even mutawatir, as I said. Therefore, you will always find someone says, well, this hadith according to this alim is questionable, but according to this alim is great hadith and stuff, because it lies. When you make up lies, you cannot come into agreement easily. And their most mutawatir hadith, in fact, the biggest mutawatir hadith is what? Let me surprise you. According to them, according to hadith scholars, the most authentic hadith is, do not write from me anything besides Quran. Whoever has written anything besides Quran should delete it, erase it. فلا تكتبوا عني سوى القرآن فمن كتبه فليمحه. This is the hadith I memorized when I was a kid in middle school. I went to parochial school, unfortunately. But maybe now fortunately, because I know what trouble it is. Now, this is according to their own علم أصول الأحاديث, the study of procedure of authenticating hadith. According to their own alims and zalims, this is the most authentic one. And guess what? This is the hadith they most betray. Hello? If this is the hadith, most authentic hadith, throw all the rest to the trash. Maybe keep this one, frame it. But they made up one single hadith. It's called ahad. It is low in the category of the authentication. It's pretty low, below mutawatir. They made one hadith. They destroyed all these. Do not write from me other than the Quran. That hadith says, well, I told you in the past that don't write anything from me. Now you can write. Aha. It's very easy for them. They're called nasikh mansukh. Means deletion, cancellation. They even, the Quran, they don't understand verses of the Quran, because according to Quran, mushriks, those who do not accept God alone, la ilaha illallah, put period. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, period. God is the only source of salvation, God. And the day of judgment, there will not be intercession. Muhammad cannot save anyone. And Muhammad is not the source of religion or Islam. Islam is peacemaking. And it's anyway. Now, according to, my mind is wandering all around too many things. Okay, I lost the track of my mind. Sorry. Let's go. Okay. If I remember where I left, I will come. Okay. Oh, I was talking about hadith, how one hadith is, I was talking about nasikh and mansukh, how they delete verses of the Quran by hadith, and also they don't understand verses of the Quran because they are mushriks. And then they say this verse abrogate this verse. No, this verse abrogate is one. Of course, a lot of discussion, disagreements about the number of abrogation. It depends on the number of the verses they don't understand. And they also claim that hadith, if sahih hadith contradicts the verses of the Quran, will abrogate the verses of the Quran. So much respect for the Quran, for God. And one of the abrogation is about verse they made up to stone people to death. الشيخ والشيخة إذا زنيا فارجموهما البتة. They made up this verse. This is in their hadith book. And they couldn't enter the Quran according to their story, hadith book. Oh, it was in the Quran. After Muhammad died, still it was in the Quran. It was written on the ship's skin. And it was under Aisha's bed. That also contradicts with their fetishism regarding respecting the paper in ink of the Quran. They don't respect what is the meaning of that. They care less, really. Because whenever it contradicts to their hearsay stories, to their sectarian teachings, they ignore the verses of the Quran. They follow that one. But They worship the paper and the ink. They hold this one. They cannot hold below their bell, but their saliva, their mouth, yeah, that's okay. Quran could be under that, but below their belly, bottom, no, it is disrespect. Now, according to them, it was under Aisha's bed written, this verse about stoning to death. They got it from Jews, and Jews also made it up. I know how they made it up, mistranslation in the Old Testament. The word regime in Hebrew and also in Arabic, the same word regime. And the word regime means excommunication. They distorted the meaning of it to stoning to death. Like a woman does this, let's say, while menstruating does this, excommunicate for a few days, don't talk. But instead of that, they said, kill that woman. In the Old Testament, you will see a lot of killing for silly little stuff, little infraction from society's rule, norms, and punished by death. It's incredible, barbaric stuff, and they attribute to God. Because rabbis, they distorted the meaning of excommunicate. Perhaps they did it when you kind of kick someone, perhaps dog or stuff, you threw pebbles and then get out. Maybe from that they jumped. They changed the meaning, excommunicate to kill. But according to Quran, the word regime, shaitan or regime, is used for Satan, excommunicated Satan. God did not stone Satan to death. Satan's still alive. Satan is in the mosques. In Muslims, so-called Sunnis and Shiites and Catholics' mind, in churches, Satan is there. Satan's headquarters are the places of worship. And also the palaces of the dictators, sultans, kings. Anyway, supposedly it was there under Aisha's bed, this verse, and then a hungry goat came and ate it. How a hungry goat eats skin is another question. But, okay, you say, well, that story is a little bit bizarre, more than bizarre after Muhammad eats, and then this is abrogated from the Quran because of a hungry goat. Okay, let's say abrogation is possible, is a big lie. It is mistranslation of chapter 2, verse 106. It is about sign of God, miracles. It is not about verses of the Quran. When one sign is forgotten or get lost, God says God sends another sign, extraordinary evidence to prove that the book, the message is God's word. Anyway, and okay, let's assume there is abrogation. Let's assume after Muhammad this happens, two big assumptions, lies. And then, well, then thank God it is fine. This goat, this hungry, holy goat, holy hungry goat, whichever combination you want to say, saved us from stoning people to death. Well, not so easy. Though it is abrogated literally from the Quran, but its hukm means its decree stands forever. Therefore, they stoned thousands of people throughout history, a barbaric, torturous way of killing people based on this big lie. Supposedly was eaten by a holy goat, and they defend this. They believe this. If you believe this story, you are an idiot, you insult to God, you are the enemy of the Quran, you are the enemy of Prophet Muhammad. Anyway, let's go. Okay, now let's see, based on this Arab nationalism, I want to give you a few examples. The names, Muhammad, Abdullah, Umar, Hamza, Zayd, Amina, Khadija, they were Arabic names. In fact, they were not Muslim names. Muslim means they were idol worshippers' names. Muhammad, according to Quran, was not a monotheist before the Quran. وَمَا كُنْتَ تَدْرِي مَا الْكِتَابُ وَمَا الْإِيمَانُ. You did not know what is faith, what is trust in God, and the book. The Quran says, to Muhammad, you did not know. Another verse of the Quran says, وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى. God saw you, found you. Dal means misguided. And fahada guided you. Muhammad was misguided before revelation came through. But he was most likely agnostic. He was searching. And God saw good intention in him. A person who is questioning. And then God guided him. And Muhammad was given by his parents who were not really monotheists. Muhammad means the one who praises God most, Muhammad. It's not Muhammad who is the one who is praised by God. No, no, no. The word hamd throughout the Quran, 38 times mentioned, always Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Its praise is only to God. This is not faraha, this is not another word. This is hamd is exclusive for God. You can only exalt God, exaltation. Therefore, Muhammad means the person who exalts God, who praises God. Ahmed means the one who exalts God more frequently. Abdullah, Allah means Al-Ilah, means the God. And Omar, someone came, I hope I will. Omar was another Arab name, has nothing to do with monotheism, with Islam. And Hamza, they were the name of mushriks. Zayd, Amina, Muhammad's father, Khatija, and was Muhammad's wife's name. And these are all Arabic, but now they consider as holy names. Goodness sake, they didn't change their names. They were Arabs, they were pre-Islam, Umar, Hamza, Zayd, and the name of their enemies also were like this. And therefore there is no merit in the names. But this creates prejudice, and here it is. My father gave Arabic names as if there is something holiness in it, a contradict with this verse. This says, nah, from his signs are the creation of the heavens and earth and the difference of your languages and your colors. Instead of giving me Kurdish name or Turkish name, the language spoken there, my mother tongue is Kurdish, and the language common in Turkey is Turkish. Instead of giving me Kurdish or Turkish name, and here as if there is something in Arabic, which is Arab nationalism, influence of Arab nationalism, and Edip means the author, Edip, Arabic. Metin, my brother who was killed by fascist nationalists when he was 20 years old in Turkey in 1979. He was a beautiful young man, very nice. Mufid, he's still alive, but he doesn't talk with me because he's Sunni, unfortunately. He's a good kid, but unfortunately misguided. Mufid means useful, helpful. Fatima, my older sister, thank God, I brought her to the United States. She lives in New Jersey. Her Turkish name is middle name, Fatma Aynur, which is beautiful. Aisha, my younger sister. And Suraya, the only non-Arabic name, and it was Persian. Suraya. Maybe it is also Arabic, perhaps. Maybe it is Arabic, the name of a star. And now, because of that, Socrates, when you say Socrates Muslim, believer, or no, cannot, because it's not an Arabic name. But I teach Socrates, I study. Socrates was a monotheist believer in God. He even believed in hereafter. To believe, when I say it, doesn't mean without reason, without evidence. The word belief is really euphemistically used for joining the bandwagons. But when I say it, I really means acknowledge the truth based on evidence. Socrates was a philosopher, Muslim, peacemaking. He was a monotheist, rational monotheist. And I came to the conclusion that he was a messenger of God to Greek, Hypatia. She's a mathematician, philosopher in about 300, I think, after Jesus. She rejected, let me find Hypatia. She rejected Trinity. Because of that, she was killed terribly. She was tortured by Christian church, by Catholics. Hypatia. Yeah, this is Hypatia. 415 after. Please check it. And my gosh, this is a hero of monotheists. This is a Muslim woman, peacemaker, a monotheist, muwahid in Arabic. And now they will not even accept her because her name is not an Arabic name. Please go to Wikipedia, read about her. She's incredible. Read it critically. Not everything written will be true. There will be some, but I want you critically, like Socrates. You see, he's really monotheist. He's critical of the Greek gods, but some places, because of the translations, as if he's believing in gods. No, it is mistranslation, because the whole context, if you read critically his apology and other arguments, he's a monotheist guy. Anyway, and let's go back to here. And Newton, he's a monotheist. He rejected Trinity because it is contradicting the logic. God cannot be Father and Son at the same time. God cannot be man and God at the same time. Doesn't make sense. Man is created, God is the creator. Created and creator cannot be the same. Mortal and immortal cannot be the same. It's just contradiction. The Nicene Creed is logical contradiction, insult to the logic, enlightenment. And these are all Muslims, peacemakers, and monotheists. And the word Allah, as if it is in Arabic, they think that God has really a special name, but Allah means El-Ilah. This is Ilah means God. El means the God, like in English with G, capital G. In Turkish, Tanrı. In Kurdish, Khuda. In Persian, Khuda. In all other languages, God says God sent messengers to people, to every nation in their languages. In their languages. And God, the creator of the universe, is not a vibration coming from a human mouth. Allah. God is not this kind of few sounds coming from your mouth with is filled with germs. Hello? God is not just few letters, you just lines you kind of draw on a paper. Is this God? Hello? Some people write G-O and then don't write O, put dot there. Silly, stupid way of, it is basically not appreciation what is the creator of the universe. Even the attributes God is according to us, our little kind of understanding, our needs, the attributes that is mentioned in the Holy Book. It's beyond our comprehension, God. According to a fish, God is the creator of planktons. According to germs, is different. You as a human being, God says God is merciful, God is the one who feeds you and stuff. But God doesn't have a name that a few air vibration from your mouth. Don't be idiot. Unfortunately, I have to use these words. Because really, there is word idiot has a meaning in language. This is what description of person who think God is just a few letters they made up. And therefore, all these argument about what is the real name of God. First of all, and I had a debate with Christian and discussion. They say Allah is a kind of idol and stuff, has nothing to do. Come on. Jesus spoke Hebrew, Aramaic language, is cousin of Arabic, is almost the same. Salam, shalom. Elohim, Allahumma Elohim, the same. Ilah, Eloi. So Ilahi in Arabic, my Lord, my God. Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani. This is in fact in your English Bible. Few Aramaic words there. One of them is Eloi. He doesn't say God in English. In fact, all Arabic-speaking Christians, they say Allah. It is Arabic and Hebrew close to each other. But no, our is God and there is Allah difference. And why? Because Satan, evil, wants to divide us. Through racism, the children of Adam, divide them, made them enemy to each other, kill each other. And all created by God, we are all servant of God. And no, God plus Jesus, no, God plus Muhammad, no, God plus Ali, God plus Joseph, God plus this. And then of course their lower idols and by this way dividing humanity. We should go back to God-centered paradigm. We all are created by God. We all have the same system, the same creator. There is no difference. And all messengers of God, including Jesus, came to invite us not to follow the religious clergymen of his time was Pharisees. Of Muhammad's time, the Meccan Mushrik leaders, they were very religious people. They were like ISIS. They were exactly like ISIS, like today's Sunnis. No difference. Very, very little difference. When I say difference in major stuff. Okay, let's go back. Therefore, they make God as if God is an Arabic God. No. The messengers of God who came to other nations in their language, they didn't speak Arabic. They didn't say Allah. They said other words like God. I don't know what is Greek, what Socrates said. Unfortunately, I don't know Greek. Okay, here it is. Let's go to the word Arab. Arab is the plural of Arab. Is mistranslated. Let me see. Did I miss? Okay, 45 minutes. This is one of the verses mistranslated. Arab means Arab. Al-A'rab means Arabs, like. Sahib means friend. Ashab, the plural of it, means, let me write down a few words. I show you here. Sahib. Sahib comes from letter Sa, Ha, Be. This means friend. Sahib, friend. Ashab, you put Elif in the beginning, and then another Elif here. This connected to here, of course. This is Sad. Ashab means friends. Sahib, Ashab. Shajar means tree. Shajar. Shajar means tree. It is 3 letters. Shin. Jim. And Re. In the middle, it doesn't have tail, therefore I cut the tail. Shajara, and now put Elif the beginning. Oh, Ashjar means trees. Now, let's look at, this is my monkey, my eraser. Okay, I find a better marker, maybe. Okay, let's, Turk means Turkish, tereke. This te, rake, and the plural is what? Etrak. Let me. And I write here and then show you. Kurd means Kurdish. And then Ekrad means Kurds. And then Arab. And then Arab. Let me show you. Tereke means Turk. Put Elif in the beginning. And re, ke. Etrak means Turkish. Kurd means Kurd. Ekrad see kerede, elif in the beginning and elif here, ekrad. Arab means Arab, one Arab. Arab I'm sorry because I'm writing this way. Alif in the beginning, Ayn right, there's two letters, the first two letters here, and then another Alif, and then the third letters. Arabic has a three-letter base, and then it changes according to format. And here it is, Arab means Arab, Arab, plural of Arab, means Arabs. But they don't translate as Arabs. They distorted the meaning of that word. We see how they did distortions. Okay, here it is. This is 33, chapter 33, verse 20. I know I made it longer than it is, but I hope that this video will be very important video to expose the Arab imperialism, nationalism. And you see, Baduna fil Arab, out in the desert among Arabs. Baduna, Badawi is called the one who is in desert. Fil Arabi, among Arabs who are Badun. Now they translate later Al-Arab, Arabs, as Badawi, those who are in desert. They don't even call them. They say Arabs in desert. Goodness sake, if Al-Arab, Arabs in desert, why here they are described Al-Arab? If this means Arabs in the desert, Baduna fi, those are in desert who are in desert. It doesn't make sense. Obviously, this one differentiates this one with this one. This one qualifies Al-Arab, the Arabs who are in desert. Therefore, there are Arab fil Medina, in the city. There are Arab who are around the city. Arab means Arabs. Fantastic. This is 100% proof. This verse proves. And then here it is. I will show you their translation. Let me show you the translation in case I forget. This is my translation. You can find it on Quranics.org. The address Quranics. Where is it? Okay, yeah. There is a reformist translation. You'll find a few other translations. Okay, I go to their translation. Not this one. Oh, I'm coming there. That's very interesting. Where we are? Here it is. You see how they distorted this verse? Al-Arabu ashaddu kufran wa nifaqan. Arabs are the worst. They are in blasphemy and hypocrisy. They are the worst. There's an exception comes, but in general, it is a very strong criticism of Arabs. But you see, Sahih says, the Bedouins are stronger in disbelief and hypocrisy. Instead of translating Arabs as if this is Al-Bidwa, it doesn't say Al-Arabu fil Budwa, the Arabs in the desert. And we saw a moment ago that verse, which is this one, 33:20, it says Baduna fil Arab. Badun. It doesn't say Budwa. The word Bedouin is not mentioned here. But they even disappeared the word Arab. Here it is. This is Al-Arab. A moment ago I showed you Arab. Alif, Ain, Ra, Alif, Ba. Al-Arab. L is the. Okay. And Pictal, the wandering Arabs. Oh, there is Arabs but wandering. No, the word wandering is not there. There is no wandering. Al-Arab means Arabs. The Arabs of desert, here it is again, enter the desert. Oh, there are the cities, they are good, like King bin Faisal. They are in the city. Nope, doesn't make this difference. This doesn't talk about desert, Al-Arab. The dwellers of the desert, Shakir disappears again. Yusuf Ali, the only one, put Arab here, and Pictal puts, but the other, Sahih International, totally disappears, hides the word Arab there, Al-Arab, Arabs. Muhammad Sarwat, desert dwelling. Mohsin Khan, again, Bedouins, no Arabs. Arberi, the Bedouins, and all distortion. Okay, let's go back. الأعراب أشد كفرا ونفاقا. This is from Reformist translation. The Arabs are the worst in rejection and hypocrisy, and more likely not to know the limits of what God has sent down upon his messenger. God is nowhere wise. And God knows, and God sent messenger to the very tribes that they committed a lot of atrocities and a lot of sins, and therefore Jewish people and Arabs, they are the one got more messengers perhaps than any other nations. And therefore the Quran is critical of both Arabs, but the Arabs are hiding from their translation, hiding that the Quran is so critical. Oh, about Jews, they add lies into Jews. If you find a Jew in the day towards the end of the world, even they are hiding under the rock will say, Jew is here, come kill me. Killing them. Look at this. They made up hadiths, anti-Semitic, and they kind of exaggerated the verses about Jews. Even they made up lies like Bani Qurayza Jews, supposedly Muhammad killed, massacred 600 or 800 of them. And details, when we study exactly the Masada massacres done by Romans 70 years after Jesus. This Masada massacre exactly copied, only the names changed. Instead of Romans made Muhammad, and they made up these kind of lies in order kind of to make Jews really bad. They deserve to be killed. And too many lies. Whatever you know about Islam, please check Quran, Manifesto for Islamic Reform. You will see a table that I compare the verses of the Quran versus Hadith or sectarian teachings like Sunni and Shia. Now again, Al-Arabu ashaddu kufran wa nifaqan. Okay, and then the following verse, from the Arabs are among who look upon what they spend as a fine and wait for disaster to befall you. They will have the evil disaster. And then from Arabs are the who acknowledge it. Here it is. There is an exception, of course, because the Quran is not racist. But unfortunately, majority of Arabs, the Quran is very critical of them. And here it is made from the Arabs, like Muhammad and his close friends who supported him, who defended their dignity, who in Medina established a wonderful, just and peaceful state. And it was a multi-religious, multinational, it was a federal secular state because they were free to practice their religion. And Muhammad was their secular leader. They did not accept Muhammad as prophet. They chose him as their leader. The Christians, the Jews, and the pagans together with monotheists. Okay, and then here it is again. ما كان لأهل المدينة من حولهم من الأعراب. This is again Al-Arab. Around them of the Arabs. This diversity and around them of the Arabs. Therefore, it is again Arabs. They mistranslated. قالت الأعراب آمنا. The Arabs said, we acknowledge. Say, oh, this is a very important verse. It shows that you may be a peaceful, you may accept peace, you may be a Muslim peacemaker, but not a mu'min, means the one who trusts God, who is an acknowledging of the fact, or muwahid. Therefore, that faith is different than socially, politically being a peacemaker. Therefore, you can be a Christian Muslim, an atheist Muslim, a Catholic or a Sunni and Shiite Muslim, and means Muslim a person, but also a monotheist Muslim. And here this verse distinguishes both of them. And therefore, it's very important to have this in mind. Anyway, هذا لسان عربي. Oh, this one also mistranslated. أعجمي وعربي. أعجمي يلحدون عليه أعجمي, the one who is foreign. لسان الذين يلحدون إليه أعجمي. The language of the one they refer to is foreign language, while this is clear Arabic language. Arabic language. Arabiyun means Arabic language. But here they distort the meaning of it. 41, 44, instead of saying, had we made it non-Arabic compilation, they would have said, if only its signs were made clear. Non-Arabic or Arabic, doesn't matter. Say, for those who acknowledge it is guide and healing. Therefore, to understand Quran, really you don't need to know Arabic. I have friends from Britain. They found errors in my English translation of the Quran. They didn't know a single word in Arabic, maybe a few words in Arabic, that's it. But by using their mind, they were able to compare translations, they find the error. And therefore, the teacher of the Quran is God. God is the creator of the universe, can teach you even if you don't know Arabic. You may be the professor of Arabic, knows Arabic best. You may have no understanding of the Quran because you don't use your reasoning. You follow all this hearsay, all these dogmas, you memorize, you don't think. Therefore, you will not have access to the Quran. Okay, and here is this verse, very important how they mistranslated. This is a political mistranslation. I think during Umar times they started reading this to promote war with Persians, with Sassanids. And in 640, and between 640 and 650. And this is important. Very interesting. And here it is, the way it is read. غُلِبَتِ الرُّوم. The Romans, this is the false reading, wrong reading. I first read like them. And they translated as the Romans was defeated, غُلِبَتِ الرُّوم. They, instead of غَلَبَتِ الرُّوم, you can read both ways, either way, depending on vowels. Original Quran did not have vowels. Here it is the real translation. غَلَبَتِ الرُّوم. The Romans have won. This is for footnote. في أدنى الأرض, at the lowest point on earth, around Dead Sea. من بعد غلبهم, this is where the war of Muta happened. Muta was around Dead Sea, an area where many Muslims were killed by Romans, and very major defeat Muslims got while during Muhammad time. It was, I think, what time was it? It is here, I give it as 629. Muhammad died in 632. Yeah, 610, around 632. 2 years before Muhammad died, Muslims got a defeat because they were neighbor with Romans, and Romans were imperialistic around, and Islam was spreading around because when people hear there is just group, community over there, they are in solidarity, they help each other, they eliminated racism and slavery, and they have a wonderful society, they live in peace. They were attacked 3 times by Mecca and others, they defended themselves, and they are very nice people. Therefore, when they heard this message, egalitarian, liberating, and for women, many women's right in the Quran, first time, and in fact gave women the right to elect in the Quran. They are mubay'a, not bay'a, they are doing mubay'a, means they are giving promise to each other. Muhammad is giving them promise, and they are giving Muhammad promise. They are electing Muhammad as a leader, and many of these things anyway. And when they heard this, they became Muslim all around from towns and stuff, and therefore the Byzantine Empire became suspicious what's going on. The towns, groups, and they are accepting this new faith, and they thought that they consider it as a threat to their imperialism. Therefore, there was first encounter in Muta around Dead Sea, the lowest point on earth, which is very interesting. It is really the lowest point. Accuracy, look at this. And then they beat, and Muslims lost the first encounter. They were numbered pretty high, though maybe the Sunni and Shia sources, they exaggerate the numbers, but makes sense. Muslims were few that time. في أدنى الأرض وهم من بعدهم غلبهم سيغلبون, at the lowest point on earth, but after their victory they will be defeated. And then let's go. في بضع السنين, within few years they will be defeated. لله الأمر, the decision before and after is for God, من قبل ومن بعد ويومئذ يفرح المؤمنون. That day, those who trust God, they will be happy. Therefore, this cannot be about Muslims be happy. The translations, they mistranslated. First, I want you to read this one because I may not have time and energy to go over this one. Okay, I want you to stop and read it. Okay. You might have noticed that we translate the reference of the verb غلبة differently than traditional translation. Instead of reading the verb in chapter 30, verse 2, Roman, the name of the chapter, Roman 2, as غلبت, were defeated, we read it as غلبت, which means just the opposite, they defeated Muslims. Similarly, we also read it continuous future tense in the following verse differently. Muslims were killed and defeated by Byzantine army in Muta in 629. The prophecy of the verse was realized in 636, 4 years after the death of Muhammad, about 7 years after they defeat, exactly بضع سنين, within several years. When Muslims confronted the army of Byzantine Empire around Yarmouk River in one of the most significant battles in history, which is taught in academy, in United States military academy. It is one of the very interesting battles. And the most under the command of Khalid bin Walid, the Muslim army beat the Christian imperial army of 4 or more times their number. The 6-day war Yarmouk occurred in the area near the Sea of Galilee and Dead Sea, which are located in the lowest land depression on earth, 400 meters below sea level. The Orthodox reading and translation of the verse reflects an interesting historical conflict and is a prime example of the abuse of divine book to justify nationalistic wars and imperialistic ambitions. By changing the verse's original reading to the opposite, the Umayyad and Abbasid dynasties were able to depict Persians as the major enemy. Thus, they justified aggression against Persian Empire. In fact, here, historically, Muslims first encountered the Byzantine Empire during the time of Muhammad. Why, according to the traditional mistranslation, why they will be happy with the Byzantines' war, with Byzantine victory? It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Why Muslims will be happy with Romans? I say Byzantine? Sorry, with Roman victory. According, let's look at the distorted translation. Let's look at here. Surah 30. I'm done. I'm very tired. Okay, let's go. Alif Lam Mim ALM means 1, 30, Mim 40. These are the letters and numbers, and these are miracles of the Quran. The frequency of these letters in those chapters are multiple of 19. Of course, they don't know even the meaning of it. And the next verse. غُلِبَتُ الرُّوم. The Byzantines have been defeated. Mistranslation. It should be غَلَبَتُ الرُّوم. The Byzantine defeated. They got victory. And okay. And then they say, all mistranslated. في أدنى الأرض, in the nearest land. No, Adna means lowest. And the near land. No, it is nearer. Yeah, low. Dene. Dunya means low. Not near. Dunya means lowest of universes. Ad-dunya, dena, means low. They even mistranslate that one. It's not qarib. Qarib means near. Anyway, and here it is. في بضع سنين. Within few words, Allah will enable believers. And then let's see 5. And then they will be بنصر الله ينصر من يشاء. Okay, في بضع السنين لله أمر من قبل. Okay, there will be في أدنى الأرض وهم من بعد غلبهم سيغلبون. The real reading should be they will be defeated, but say no, they will be victorious. And then the Byzantine will be victorious and Muslims will be happy with that victory. Hello? Just a few years before, in Muta they killed many prominent Muslims. How Muslims will be happy with Byzantine, who they encountered first, and they were defeated by Byzantine. Why they will be happy for the victory of Byzantine against Sassanids, which they didn't encounter yet? Doesn't make sense. And therefore, this is another example how it is distorted. Arab nationalism, again in summary, according to the Quran, all languages are God's signs, and all languages are God's signs. Chapter 30, correct? Interesting. It is in the same chapter. Chapter 22. And the variety of languages and colors is God's sign, is good. We should appreciate it. And God sent messengers to every nation in their language. No language is holy and the other not holy. All languages are God's blessing. They're all good, equally good. And therefore Arabic is not above other languages. God says Arabic is a great language. It doesn't mean that other languages are not great. Think. But Arabic is designed for mathematics. The Quran is a mathematically coded book. It has specialty, but each language they have their own specialty. For example, Turkish language is a mathematical language. It's very regular, interesting. English language has another. Persian language is a poetic language. Every language may have different, like fruits. You cannot say this fruit is better than the other. This fruit has vitamin C. This vitamin has vitamin, let's say, K, potassium, for example. Anyway, therefore, but Arabs, while they became empire and they used hadith to promote Arab's nationalism, Arab culture, and even they made God's name as if a proper name, Allah, no other words you cannot use for God. You cannot use God for God. And also their name, all around the world, you see Muslim, they use Arabic names as if there is something miracle in those names. And also as if Islam, peacemaking, started with Muhammad. No, according to the Quran, all messengers of God, Jesus, Moses, and all others, they were Muslim in Arabic. In English means they were peacemakers. Peacemaker. Salam means peace. Peacemakers in two ways. One, you make peace with God, you submit to God. Peacemaking with people, you make an agreement with them that you will be living in a just and peaceful society. You will not be killing each other. You will respect each other. You will help each other, regardless of their religion and color. And therefore, they started distorting the meaning of the words in the Quran, like the word Arab. Plural of Arab is al-A'rab. A'rab means Arabs. Like Turk, Atrak means Turks. Turk, Atrak, Turks. Kurd, Kurdish. Kurd, one person. Akrad. Shajar, tree. Ashjar, trees. Qalam, pen. Aqlam, pens. Sahib, friend. Ashab, friends. Arab, one Arab, Arab, Arabs. But when you look at the translations made by Arabs or those who are influenced, brain polluted by Arab nationalism, they don't translate Arab as Arabs. They mistranslate it as Bedouins. Those are who are lost people lost in desert. No, it is about Arabs. And also they misread the beginning of chapter 30, Rome, about Romans, and Alif Lam Mim, غلبت الروم. This is the correct pronunciation of it. The Romans gained victory. Alif Lam Mim, ALM, 130, 40, 71. And then غلبت الروم فهم من بعد غلبهم سيغلبون. After their victory, they will be defeated by Muslims, by peacemakers, في بضع سنين, and they were defeated 7 years after 629. It was Muslims were defeated, peacemakers were defeated by Romans in Muta, and in Yarmouk in 630 what? 36? Yeah. 636 in Yarmouk, they defeated the Romans, which outnumbered them. Anyway, and these are just some examples. There are many how hadiths fabricated that the language of heaven will be Arabic and stuff, and the names. And there is a prejudice against names in other languages, like David. If you say David, oh, you are not Muslim, but Dawood, yeah, in Arabic way if you say it. These are absolutely, this has nothing to do with the Quran, with the message of the Quran, Muhammad. These are later distortions. Please eliminate this Arab nationalism culture and enjoy the diversity and give your children different names than Arabic names. If I was very free, I gave my sons Arabic names. There are some reasons. It was my personal, emotional things. One promise I had given to God that I will give my son's name as Yahya. It is a very interesting experience I had. And John means John. And the other, my brother's name, who was killed in age 20, I give to my younger son. But if I have more sons or girls, I would give them different names. Maybe Newton and Socrates, or maybe cherry, maybe orange, maybe potassium. These are beautiful names. Anyway, thanks.